What on earth was that? How are you going to perform that badly? You've seen the result. You've seen the score. I just need to get this off my chest because, boy, Van Nistelrooy has a job coming into his hands that I think even he didn't know about. I mean, if you were the manager and you come into a club and you see that performance, that would make you think twice. Unless you really, really believed in yourself. You've already seen the result by the title. It's going to be a bit of an explosive rant. I can't lie. Let me set the context before coming into this. This is how I was looking at it. It is a bit of a free hit because the manager's not in for this game. There should be a level of confidence that have come up because the team have got rid of the manager. So they should be okay. Now we can go and play a little bit of our football or do the basics well. We didn't see any of that. After all that's happened in the last week, the manager being fired, of them going out and partying with signs like "Endo, I miss you," and players should be told off, rightfully so. Top bollocked them, rightfully so. It's an opportunity for players to go, right, I've got to get into this team now. Fresh slate, fresh new manager. This is an opportunity for me to build into this team and solidify my place. That was the complete opposite of what happened in the game. Yes, we took it a little bit in the first 20 minutes, a little bit more cautious, and we kept Brentford quiet because they've been scoring the first couple of minutes or so. But overall, my God, that was embarrassing and pathetic. And normally I don't go after. I'll have to go out after individual players. And I'll shout out a couple of people, but in general, I mean, they changed it up a little bit. This is also an opportunity, just before move on to that, for the players' job, but also for Ben Dawson to go, right, here's an opportunity. I know I'm not going to be manager. Remember when we took over from the one I was thinking of? Remember Claude Puel left and Mike Stowell, and I forgot who the other guy's name was, and Adam Smith. Somebody like one of the guys, they took charge of the game, and it was a 0-0 against Brighton. Before Brendan Rodgers was in the stands waiting for the next game. In that game, I think it was a 1-1 or it was a 0-0. I can't remember. So it was a draw. Wasn't the best performance, but people were like, okay, we've reset from Claude Puel. Let's place it again. And we kept it simple, kept it at the back. Oh my God, Ben Dawson, some of the decisions you made, some of the ways that you're just, again, if you wanted, it's like you don't want a job. It's like you don't want a job in the backroom staff. I know you're not for the first level. Fine, just take it for one time. And we've all done it at different levels of job. Do you know what I mean? If you come in and you go, look, can you just cover me for just a second? Cool. You don't really know what you're doing, but let's just cover you. Let's just see if we can make something out of it. The worst thing you do is just keep it simple. Keep the formation simple. Keep the tactics relatively resolute. And there was none of that. And I think his official role is like first team development coach. That's not development. That's stupidity. It's abysmal. So what did he do? So he set us up. And again, I'm not, especially after Steve Cooper, the happiest person should be Steve Cooper. Look at that going, good luck to them. Good luck to Ruud because it's awful. And also, yeah, the managers in the stands, the owners in the stands after bollocking you, John Rudkins in the stands. They're all there wanting to show you what this team is capable of, what they're able to do, and you can't show them nothing. Awful. So let's go into the formation that we set up with. We did set up with a 3 at the back, and this is actually what I was calling for. Put Cody back in the middle. Okoli fast again. Fast will come. Fast and Cody will come onto it just a second. And then for some reason he drops Luke Thomas in ahead of Christensen. Now I'm not really a fan of either player, but Christensen is a better player than Thomas, let's be honest. Justin comes in, it was basically a flat back 5. Samorian and Diddy, and then Buonanotte, Ayew, and then Jamie Vardy up top. For the goal going ahead, so the positive, very, very small positives. Jamie Vardy does what Jamie Vardy does for the goal. So for the first goal, the only goal from Leicester City, really well worked. Again, this is why you just need to let Jamie Vardy basically decide his own fate and his own future, because the guy just produces moments of magic, not just striking wise, but for attackers like he did for Buonanotte. Buonanotte in the right position to slot it in, and we kept Brentford. It was a wave of attack, but we managed to be a bit resolute. And then afterwards, they were playing like people that have never played together. in their lives defensively all over the place. People being dragged out of position. And you could say, oh, well, Okoli was injured. I still expect, fine, do the basics. And Brentford, and again, this is not a slight against Brentford. Brentford were fantastic in this game and well done to them. But that was the worst performance, I think, since, when we lost 5-2, 5-3 to Fulham, and we just went, what on earth is that? And the hangover was still there. And it felt like the hangover was still there for Steve Cooper. But if you're an individual player, you want to put yourself in the shop window if you don't want to be here. Let's say that. You also want to be in the manager's first team. It's a brand new opportunity to start. Who's proven that? No one. Okay, a couple of players. Hermansen proved that. I'd say Buonanotte proved that. Jamie Vardy proved that. And Mavididi when he came on. The rest of them, that's awful. And here was me howling at hope that I thought we've got a Premier League team. And after that performance, you would say the majority of them aren't ready. Let's go on to some of the individual performances. I want to start with the person that's on the thumbnail, Walt Fass. Oh, I've been trying to defend Fass for a long time, going, look, he is a little bit lax at the back. He does switch off, but he's good going forward. He intercepts play. And when he's on confidence, he's a great player. I've lost that now. I think he needs to go. After this performance and the last one, the 4 different mistakes. And there's one thing if you're a bad player. For example, Luke Thomas isn't at Premier League level. And that's being nice and kind. I don't blame him. He's just not at the level. Fuss is not at the level, but he behaves like he should be world-class player. You're not. You're clearly not even close to it. And I can understand why the Belgium, and it's not just for Leicester. The Belgium's some of the Belgian players and the Belgian journalists have been roasting him as well, and I can understand why. I want to back him, but give me something to back. Basics of defending, tracking your runners. Not running out, but again, clearing your lines. The basics of football. And there's one thing to go, yeah, I've not done the basics well, which is a crime in itself at a Premier League level. There's another thing to go, oh, what are you doing? And shouting at other people. But that's your fault. Honestly, we need to. It sounds really bad, but we need to bring somebody from the academy. Ben Nelson's obviously injured. I won't bring him back off loan, but we need to bring somebody to the academy because they at least give a shot. They actually do the basics. They're not even doing that. Connor Cody, another player that I thought if he gets given the opportunity, because last season we saw with Liverpool in the cup, Connor Cody did really well. And at 3 at the back, because I thought the reason why Connor Cody's not playing well is because he's one of the back. He's one of a defender that stays around the back, and that plays at 3 at the back. He doesn't really work at 2 at the back. We played 3 at the back today, and he was woeful. Your job as a leader is to lead this team. I didn't see anything on the pitch. And you're all right leading the team against when Steve Cooper was on when we were playing against Nottingham Forest. You were leading there. Well, get on the pitch and start leading, man. You lead by your actions, not with your words. Because I'm sorry, that wasn't good enough. Absolutely not. And I know he came out and watched Match of the Day and he goes, oh, well, it's not good enough on the play, blah, blah, blah. Fix it then. Same thing I said to Steve Cooper. Don't tell me, show me. I don't think you're ready for this level. Prove me wrong because you've not shown that at all. No way even close. Vestergaard, I do feel a little bit sorry for him. He doesn't really play as a centre-back. But again, just keep it simple. Don't try and overplay. And when you're soaking in pressure, you know how to do that. And I've seen Vestergaard do it with, I remember him and Soyuncu kept it at the back, kept it solid, and then kind of can play out against a Man City. Yes, they were a good team. Brentford were a cracking team. If that game kept going, it would have been 9, 10, 11, 12, you name it, it would have continued. There was only one way that the game was being played. Okoli was only on for that few minutes, but it seemed like it shouldn't be one player going off for the team to change that much. And it's pathetic. Really is awful. The midfield, I won't touch on too much, but both of them didn't work together. And I think Dawson is somewhere to blame as well, because playing Luke Thomas ahead of Christensen, if we're going to play a flat back 5, then coach them properly. Just say, look, sit in. Sit in, make it difficult. They were carving through us. The players didn't care. And this is one of the reasons why I was so pissed off in my I was so I'm just running out of energy. I don't know what to do. The players don't care. Steve Cooper was part of the problem, but he's not the only problem. Look at yourselves now. Steve Cooper can't be to play for that performance. All the players that'll be hungover. I don't think there's any Leicester fan that goes in there and goes, "Oh yeah, well Leicester they deserve X, Y, and Z. We don't deserve it. We were terrible in all that game." Because if I was Ruud Van Nistelrooy looking at that, I'd go, you've seen the thumbnail. You've all seen that picture of Steve Cooper now of Ruud Van Nistelrooy. Forget Steve Cooper now. He's gone. But Steve Cooper is the big winner out of that, genuinely, because of what he gave to that team. Let me see if I can find it. Because that was god awful. This one, let me see if I can find it. Shout out LCFC SP as well on Twitter. If you know who it is, you know who it is. Like that picture just sums it up really. What have I done? What have I got myself into? Because this is embarrassing. And if I'm again, the less I say about certain things now, I think I've had my little rant about that because that's pathetic in every single way. Top needs to sit down and go, right, and you have to be ruthless now, Top, as well. In the summer, if you don't want to be here, don't be here. We will rebuild, we will spend money, and we will rebuild this because we've got rid of the manager and you still perform like that. You want an opportunity to go, even if we don't win, it's not expecting us to win. Just don't get absolutely smashed. That game could have been more easily. Hermansen paid off a good save in the first half. They played through us like a knife through butter. I think they just carved through us. There was if you don't know, just do the basics. Clear your lines. Keep retain, have a bit of possession where we're going to have a bit of possession. Let's just pass it around each other, build up. And even if we're going to give it back to them, let's see if we can do something. We got nothing in that game. Absolutely nothing. And it's pathetic performance. And if I'm rude, I'm really sorry. I'm getting in some army soldiers as my backgroup staff. I'm getting in some people from the military, and I'm training them into the ground. Half the players. Jamie Vardy again. Service was cut off to him, but even he still tried and made an opportunity. Buonanotte I think he should have tucked in a little bit more, and he shouldn't have gone as much forward, because we need to kind of sit in. So if we like a 5 at the back, then 3. I'd say bring Buonanotte a little bit more. Again, Harry Winks is out. Oliver Skip, I think, would have done a better job than Diddy, because I didn't think Diddy was off today. Genuinely thought he wasn't. He's not looked good the last couple of games. I thought would have given it Oliver Skip, because he gives it that defensive solidity and then the ability just to retain the ball, pass it. I think he would have been better playing in this. I think Dawson's dropped this one. I don't know if they continue with him, because at the end of the day, if I'm Ruud Van Nistelrooy and I get the shots, I go, I don't want him. What has he just proven to me? That he wants to keep him in the job? I'm not doing that at all. Pathetic. Again, the context is what's important as well. Losing 4-1, these things happen, but it's how you do that. And again, that's being kind, saying losing 4-1, these things happen. It's how you do it. And just there was no structure, there was no defense, there was no midfield. Players were playing like individuals. It was almost like if anybody's ever watched like a team, I used to play it like year 4, like 10, 11 years old, where a ball would go and everybody would kind of like swarm around the ball. There was no tactics, no formation. People just kind of swarmed around the ball like I kicked it. And that's how the Leicester players were playing. Brentford, on the other hand, had a structure. They knew what they were doing. They were coached. Oh, and that's because Thomas Frank's been in there longer. You just need to do the basics well. And we didn't do that. And Brentford played some fantastic football, but some of that could have been cut out with basic level defending. And that was beyond, not even basic, it's just woeful and pathetic. Walt Fast needs to be dropped. I don't know who comes in. Vestergaard, I think, can keep his place. Coley alongside. Fast needs to go out of the team, because I'd normally never call for that. After those 2 back-to-back performances, the basic errors, you'd get somebody from the academy that's doing better than that. Genuinely. Awful performance. James Justin, again, get pulled around. At least he was giving something, but defender-wise, he made him look like a not even championship-level defender in that game. So, again, I do blame everybody for this, apart from Ruud Van Nistelrooy, who had nothing to do with it. Top has obviously bollocked them, but it's not working. So, Top needs to be really ruthless and try and sell people going forward, because that is not good enough at all. Anyway, what are your thoughts? Leave them in the comments down below. We'll be back, hopefully, with a preview tomorrow, where I've got Mike's from West Ham, West Ham fan coming on. Hopefully see you then. Less said about this performance, the better, even though, again, normally these get on for longer. I'm not even going to analyze it because it's just a ranty crap. All right, I'll see you all in a bit. Goodbye.